What's up, you guys? I've been living in Nairobi, Kenya for 3 years now. It's crazy to say that. And I am going to tell you what happened since I left YouTube, what's been happening now in Kenya, and what my plans look like in the future. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because I have to take content creation seriously. I would really appreciate if you could just share and like this video so I can get monetized, because I put a lot of effort into YouTube and I've never seen a return on it, which is why I'm not here, but I'm back. So I'm gonna be doing a get ready with you as we prepare to honestly do nothing today, but feel good. So I came to Kenya because I wanted to get my master's degree at USIU. That's around the time I really stopped vlogging. I moved to Thika, which is like a little further out from town. It's kind of far, right? This is probably where most Kenyans live at. And when I moved out there, it was just like hell on earth, like exploded, okay? So you guys, I actually need to add some more information here. So in addition to everything that was happening inside my actual building, they were taunting the crap out of me. I'm talking about they sent auctioneers, which are basically like an eviction people. So they tell you you have to pay within X amount of days. If not, they're gonna come and take your TV and your couches and everything that's valuable and sell it. I ended up having to call my lawyer and move within 2 weeks, and I still had to pay $10K for the auctioneers, even though the property management people were wrong. I also had to endure them cutting my water off for 7 days. Imagine having a 2-year-old that has to go to school, a house manager, and your water is cut off. Like, when I tell you I was going through it, I was going through it. And they would not even listen to the fact that I kept telling them I did not move in January. I moved in like on the last day of January. And they tried to tell my lawyer that I agreed to pay for the entire month of January so that I could move into a vacant apartment the last month, which is customary in Kenya to be able to move in at the very end of the month because the apartment is already vacant. The caretaker would not help me. And the girl, Purity, that you see in this email, she kept coming to my house, sneaking around, trying to give me all these notices. And I was 2 seconds from fighting this girl. When I tell you I took my earrings out, and I put my sweatpants on, greased myself up with Vaseline, and was about to do a straight old school. I went right in front of the cameras and I said, I just want one strand of hair from your head to touch me. And it's going down basement. It was just miserable. But I needed to live out there because of the fact that my son was still 2 and I didn't want to be commuting from Kileleshwa all the way to Thika. I didn't have a car. I didn't have like the resources to even be spending that kind of money on transportation back and forth. When I got to USIU, I had the worst experience, guys. Like, I had the worst experience. And I know people here in Kenya are always on me about like, why are my experiences here so bad? And honestly, guys, there is a level of like bullying I experience being here sometimes and being misunderstood, but also having to identify as a Kenyan and doing things like the way that Kenyans do. Like, I don't always have the privilege of being an American here in Kenya. So when I was at USIU, I was struggling. I was like failing. I was getting Fs, you know, and usually when you get an F, they're not supposed to pass you to the next level. They just kept passing me along, telling me they were going to help me solve my problems. My teachers were taunting me. It was just so bad. People cared more about who I was and why I was there than the purpose of me getting an education. The reason why I moved to Kenya and sold everything, my beautiful Mercedes car, uprooted my whole life, wasted all of this money, was so that I could get that degree. I just kept telling myself, like, Charity, further your education. Try again. If anything fails in life, at least you can go and get a job and you and your kid will not be homeless. And it seemed like a proper thing for me to do, like a big girl move. I don't have a brush here with me. it seemed like the big girl thing to do. And it seemed like I was making a wise decision. The program was going to take 1 year. And I was like, that's enough. I just need 1 year and I will be good. The school, USIU, is called United States International University. So I thought that they actually had experience with foreigners like Americans. I mean, it literally says United States. But I was probably the first American to ever actually attend that school. And everybody kept telling me, why are you here? Why are you here? And I'm like, because this master's degree cost $10,000 compared to $60,000 in the US. And this one is absolutely transferable. It's already like you can use it in like America. You don't have to transfer the degree over. I was like, this is like a smart decision. I didn't realize that the academic expectation was going to be African. I was expecting a very forward-thinking program, and I got a laborious, exhausting, draining, miserable experience. I lost all of my hair. That's why you can see my hair is really short. The last videos, my hair was curly and bouncing. I lost all of my hair. I lost so much weight. I was just like barely surviving. And when they kept dragging me on, making me think that they were going to help me, I got to a point where I said, God, like, I've hung in as long as I can. I cannot do this anymore. I was incredibly miserable. In any time, like, I either didn't dress up or I did dress up, it was always like some commentary, you know, but that commentary will continue to follow me in this story. People always got something to say. So I eventually decided that I was going to quit. Once I quit, I just knew there was no purpose in me staying in Thika anymore because of another incident that happened. I had a friend of mine who was here from the US, and we wanted to go outside to get something to eat. It was around exam time, and we had not cooked anything, and my house manager was not around. So we went outside. She got some fish from this club, and she got some fish from this club. And while we were waiting, I was like, oh, let me go and get a tequila shot. I ordered a tequila shot, and it's like 500 or 400 shillings or something, which is like $3. And as I'm squeezing like oranges inside of the tequila shot, he snatched the oranges away from me and was like, you can't have all of those. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what is the aggressiveness? And immediately I tense up because I already felt like something bad was going to happen. So I didn't take the shots. I went to my friends and I was like, hey guys, there's a problem happening over there. This guy is being a little too hostile for me. Like, I don't know what to do. And they're like, did you take the shot? And I was like, no, I didn't take it. They were like, well, then it doesn't matter. Who cares? I just stood there tense as all can be. And I just knew something bad was going to happen. They're like, no, girl, don't worry. You're going to be fine. And I'm like, guys, no, I'm worried. Now, yes, I should have just paid for the shot, but I was so concerned about what was brewing that I didn't even have that mindset. I was like in, excuse me guys, sorry. I was in like fear or flight mode for sure. And a part of me telling my friends this was because I just knew one of my friends spoke Swahili and my other friend was just more diplomatic than I am when it comes to problems. So I did what I thought I should have done. Not what I, in hindsight now, like just paid it and went on with my life. But I was just scared, you know? So needless to say, my friends are like, don't worry about it, you'll be fine. And I'm like, no guys, I'm worried. And then as we're walking out of this club, because my friends are like, come on, let's go. As we're walking out of this club, I'm in the middle. My two friends are on the opposite side. They end up pushing one of my friends out, pushing the other one back. And then one of the security girls took me, slammed me on the ground and started punching me. I ended up needing knee surgery. during exams and all of that. And again, dealing with the bullying in school, it was just, wow. I ended up getting the knee surgery. It was like $400K. Luckily, I had the school's insurance, so insurance covered the surgery, but it was so crazy having to do physical therapy for such an injury, right? They went in and told me I had a meniscus tear and I had to go under anesthesia and all that stuff. Do you know how crazy it is to be under anesthesia as a mom? Like, it's just crazy. So I get that done. I'm limping to school, having to explain what happened, having to endure all that pain and still be getting Fs. I realized I can't stay in this area anymore. I cannot stay in this school, and I have to figure out something else for myself because I'm screwed. I ended up moving to Kilimani, and I struggled to find places, but this was the first time I lived in a Somalian Muslim building. Now, this is not any shade to those two categories, but yes, I moved in unknowingly, not expecting drama or expecting much issues, but I started to realize again how curious and nosy they were about me. And it was like strange curiosity, right? So I stayed there for about let's say 6 months. I stayed for about 6 months or less than that. And I had to move. I had to move because I couldn't handle it. And on top of that, there was a crazy, crazy, crazy roach infestation. Okay. Crazy, crazy, crazy roach infestation. Sometimes when you have these communities with these big families, they just are roachy. Okay. That's all I got to say. So I had never experienced like roaches like that living in Thika or in Kileleshwa. I didn't even know roaches were in Kenya. And this, like, bro, roaches is just trifling. They were crawling on a ceiling. I didn't even know roaches could crawl on the ceiling. Like, when did they start doing that acrobatic stuff? So I had to move up out of there, and I was happy to move up out of there. But this is around a time where I also fell in love. Actually, I fell into delusion. And this delusion, all right, new position, phone got full. So I had to travel back to the US around July to do a reassessment or whatever for my business. And I was tripping because the girl I had at the time was not getting along great with Gabriel at all. And I was genuinely scared for my son's safety. Okay. So I decided the best I can do is order a whole bunch of cameras and put them everywhere in the house. And from there, I can just watch the girl. She was from Uganda. And she just was always like, she just acted like a child. God, it was just terrible. But at this point, I was afraid to switch because I had like a week to leave and I needed someone that I could trust, kind of, right? So I order all these cameras from this company and they come to deliver them. And when they deliver them, the delivery guy installs them for me. Then the delivery guy kind of speaks Ugandan because he's from Busia side, and Busia is next to Uganda. So it's like close to where he comes from. So I was like, I'm having trouble with this house girl, like house manager, call them whatever you want. And he was trying to intervene and be helpful. So he had to come back like the next day because the cameras were falling down. And when he came back that next day, it's like we connected. I didn't realize at this point it was just prey. I didn't know because of like where I live and how I live that would put me in a position to like be used relationship wise. Like I didn't know relationship scams are a thing Like, I know I should have known, but I expected that from our good old, Yoruba Naja boys, okay? I did not expect that Kenyans actually do stuff like that. But yes, it is a thing. So that's basically what it was, a romance scam. But he was so committed to me and like solving my problems. I stopped drinking and I was just proud of where my life was headed, right? He also like helped me find my next apartment so we could go from one roachy place to another roachy place. But I guess it's my fault for entertaining things that would attract roaches, okay, in my life. So anyways, him and I start hanging out more. I realized like I really like this guy. I didn't really know everything about him, and I will go into a full detail of how I got caught up inside of a romance scam. But make sure you like, subscribe, please support us, because like, guys, I need the support. I just need the support. I need to get to monetizable. So I end up traveling. He was so sweet. He made sure he checked on my son every single day, so committed. Just, oh, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. And I'm over there like, okay, this guy might have some potential. I raced home early from the US. I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks. I only stayed for 1. And we began to like really share a life together. And it seemed like it was like perfect because he was just so incredibly helpful, okay? And helpfulness is important to somebody like me who just doesn't have help. I was like, he just accepted me for who I was, and we had fun, and it was just helpful. And I saw how my life changed here in Kenya by having a man. If you think you can come and move to this country single, you can just forget about it. You're gonna have one hell of a damn time. So I was happy to have a man. I felt like I was just safer. People didn't bother me as much. Like, people didn't talk to me. People would just look and stare like when a man is there. When the man is not there, can I get your number? Where you live at? Where you going? What you doing? La 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 la. It's not even catcalling. It is straight up by demand. Like, I had somebody when I was walking home from the gym pull my arm. Like, just imagine somebody selling 10 shilling mandazis over here pulling your arm because you're simply wearing shorts. Like, the things that I have gone through since I left y'all is the reason why I ain't came back, because there ain't been much happiness to put on this channel. So we end up forming a relationship, and then I come to find out his whole life. Oh my God. This man lied to me so good. He lied to me so good. So we ended up switching to a new apartment, which he found while I was in the US. And I was like, okay, it was way much bigger, more space than I needed, but he kind of convinced me that it was going to be perfect and we could do this, we could do that, we could do this, we could do that, but we wasn't going to do a bunch of nothing, okay? So I convinced myself into it because I was like, I need to get back into podcasting. He wanted to do a podcast with me. I said, I got to take my social media more serious. I'm like, well, I can cook in this kitchen. To me, I kind of thought about it as more of a content house, but it would become a haunted house because my worst reality is going to happen in this home that this man convinced me to get. And we sat there and we held hands together and we prayed. Yo, the things that we take to God in prayer, he'd probably be like, what? Take that back. Anyways, I went to God in prayer because, again, I was like, if I'm going to be serious about this guy, I need to be sober. And I was like, I got to sober up. I was just doing kombucha. And I was like, I got to make wise decisions. So I used my Looney Tune brain to both go to USIU and fail, and then to come back to Kilimani and fall in love and fail. So the last 2 years have been just a bunch of failure. I can't tell you one success I've had other than my son, who is thriving. So I end up moving into the house. Again, we gotta hurry up and go and get my nails done. So I'm going to get my nails done because there's a blackout and I just can't sit here and do a bunch of nothing. So I end up, and we're almost done here. So I end up moving into the house thinking we're going to have this relationship, and things started getting real crazy. He started like stealing from me financially. Everything became more questionable. So this is when I find out this man is locally married and has 2 kids And the way he positioned it to me was like he was already on his way out the door, not like he was very much comfortably in that place. Now, I know people say, don't mess around with married men, but that's like somebody saying to, like, people here thinking, oh, just because I have a kid that I have a man that's providing for me. I think the assumptions of people's relationships based off of the choices they made in their life can make you think like that somebody isn't actually separated. There are people who separate and live together. There are people who want to leave but like don't have a look. The way he positioned it to me, it seemed like they were not together, definitely not romantically together, and that she was under the impression that he was absolutely moving on. Okay. Then I realized I think this man is lying to me, and I got to get to the bottom of this because no one is going to put me in a hell. Like, listen. So he kept telling me, like, give it time. I'm going to figure everything out. In 12 weeks, I'll be sorted and I'll move out and they'll be good. I said, fine. So as time was going and his lies were lying, I decided, let me just call the girl myself. Call her, hello. I was like, do you know your man is here in my house? And she's like, oh, really? I proceed to tell her everything because that's what I do. I try to live in honesty, even in lack of integrity. Like, come on, guys. And I proceed to tell her everything. And her response to me is, okay, you can have him. And I was like, oh, that's strange. Like, daggone it. Like, that's strange. It ends up blowing up in my face. I end up not focusing on my business and losing my entire business. Didn't just lose my business. I lost my iPhone, I lost my mind, I lost my money, I lost everything. Everything. The way that I was making money stopped completely. I was living off of scrapes, robbing Peter to pay Paul. So I had to quickly get the heck out of that apartment complex because in addition to that apartment complex, being full of roaches, the security guards were taunting me. I'm talking about taunting me, like wouldn't open the gate, would like my phones were going missing and getting back returned, and my phone got stolen twice, guys, like twice. My credit cards were getting stolen. I don't know. It was like witchcraft was happening, that I was losing things that I would never actually lose. I don't lose phones. Like, I'm always persistent on it. It's in my hand. I have no clue how these phones were just magically, witchcraftingly coming out of my hands. Okay. They even went ahead and charged $3,000 on my credit card, which I still to this day have to solve. Yeah. I don't know how I don't know how they did it. I had ordered a new credit card when I lost it, a replacement, and somehow they were still able to use my old credit card and go and purchase stuff all the way down. And I call my credit card company and they're trying to tell me it's me that did it. So that's a whole nother issue that I've had to deal with as well. Everything bad was happening there, and I had no money. I had no phone because my phone was stolen. And to get phones here is problematic. And I also had no credit card because my credit card was also stolen, and I had no way of fixing my problems. Okay. I had to go all the way to Mombasa because I had a friend coming in who had just given birth, and I had someone else ship my credit card to her. She came with it. I had to go to Mombasa to get it. Then I used a credit card to buy the phone, and then from there, the scamming came in. Whatever. I move out expeditiously. I realized, like, no. Like, I got to get out of here. Like, this place is too expensive. And if like this is my financial situation right now and I can't fix my business, we're not going to be able to afford this place, and I'm going to be in trouble. Like, these people are already aggressive on me. So we move immediately. When I was there thinking I was going to enjoy the holidays, I wasn't enjoying the holidays. I was miserable. Okay. I end up having enough resources to move things around. Like, the school has still owed me money. So I was able to use that to do my down payments, to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. So I was able to just barely get by, but I definitely didn't have the resources to put my kid in school. Neither did I have the patience, because even the school was causing me problems because I was being double charged. Like, it was crazy. It was like everything that was negative, that could be negative, happened. And I was like, I don't understand how I got here. So now I moved to where we are right now. Okay, this place is called Kiambu, and this is like where more Kenyans are at. And I began to try to fix my problems as best as I could. I ended up getting my business back, but still owing people, months of no revenue, still poor. The only difference is that I knew that I had to get to a place where the cost to be there is something that I could manage should anything go wrong. But living in that scarcity mindset didn't just stress me the heck out. It lowered my spirit like so much. I felt like I was downgrading, living in fear, living in like, I don't know what. And all of my plans for the podcast, for the content creation house that I was investing, painting, doing all of this, my hope to have a partner and to have love in the family, all of that was ripped apart from me. And not only that, but also my business that I've had for 10 years that I have babysat, and it has stressed me out to the point of no return. I was doing everything possible to save it, and I just felt like God was letting me fail and fail miserably. So now here we are, fast forward. I turned 35. We've been here for 6 months now, and don't worry, the drama has definitely located me here. But I'm doing my best to not let it enter into my mind and put me back where I was at, because only I know the hell I put myself in. And my kid is thriving. He's in school right now. The school is at least more affordable than what I was paying, living in Kilimani. Like, when you live in Kilimani, there's an expectation there. And I am a little happier, I'm a little happier. But my goal is to get happier. There was also something else that happened to me, which we will talk about. At the same exact time, my phone is being stolen, credit cards are being stolen, business shut down, and somebody decides to grape me. And I had no time, like usual in my life, to process any of this stuff. And I feel like, to me, I hate that I talk about hardship with so much nonchalantness, because in privacy, I do grieve those things. And I grieve them by drinking wine. I grieve them by being slumped, by being hiding. I grieve them in ways that sabotage my purpose in life. And I know God has been calling me out of the secret place. I'm going to cry. No, I'm not. I got this. But life has not been easy for me. So sometimes when people ask me why I'm always complaining, it's not that I'm complaining. I really am just trying to survive. I just want to feel like if I put my effort into this, that it actually will work for me and my son, because the amount of financial pressure I've had to carry, all my life is just becoming too much. It's becoming way too much, guys. And I feel like it doesn't even allow me to enjoy my life. So I'm hoping that if I come back to YouTube, that things will change for me. I will tell you the positive things about Kenya later, but we're starting off afresh. We're starting off like at a realistic level, and not how I came into the space when I first moved here. I do still want to pursue my master's degree. I still want that cushion, because like, me and my kid cannot be homeless. I don't care what nobody says. And I gotta try, So I'm trying many different things. I just tried an event last week that I spent a lot of money on. It was a complete failure. I didn't listen to myself. I listened to other people. It's like hard to start businesses here. The system and the framework is not the same. There's some challenges here that can kind of rob the joy out of you. But I'm back here on YouTube. I'm going to show you guys my life here in Kenya. It's way much more simpler, but I hope that it still entertains you. So thank you for being here. Please subscribe and share this. And I will absolutely tell you how I got myself into a romance scam. Okay, hallelujah.